Calling all pet owners and their four-legged friends, the Coon Rapids Love My Pet Fair returns this year after a break last year due to the pandemic. The fun takes place Saturday, September 18th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Riverview Park. There will be a pet parade, costume contest, smart pet tricks contest, games, and more. Pet vaccinations and licenses are also available for a fee, and plenty of vendors will have booths set up at the event. Well-behaved pets on a leash are invited, rain or shine. Here's your City Council recap for Thursday, September 9th. A new medical office building will be coming to the southern end of town. At Tuesday night's City Council meeting, JHM Properties received site plan approval for a two-story, 12,000 square foot medical office building off Springbrook Drive and Hawley Street, right next to the Quick Trip. The 1.9 acre site is currently undeveloped. The building will house a kidney dialysis clinic. We may have turned the calendar on summer, but water restrictions remain in place for the time being. The water emergency enacted June 18th forbids watering between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. daily. Also, the odd-even ban, which normally ends August 31st, has been extended indefinitely. That means homeowners with addresses ending in odd numbers can water on odd-numbered days, and even-numbered homes water on even-numbered days, but again, not between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. The City Council has introduced some updates to the solar ordinance. The changes will allow for the commercial generation of solar energy by eliminating a requirement that all solar energy systems only provide on-site power. Also, a new category of solar energy systems is being added, which will allow for community solar gardens. In 2020 alone, 16 solar systems were installed in Coon Rapids. And that's your City Council recap for Thursday, September 9th. As always, you can find the full meetings on cable or the CTN YouTube channel.
Yasser is our new member, and I think I'll give Yasser the opportunity to introduce himself. And Yasser, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
In an effort to improve community relations between the police and the public, Coon Rapids Captain John Stanky organized the city's first Multicultural Advisory Committee.
The goal of the Multicultural Advisory Committee, or the MAC, is to promote cultural awareness and enhance communication and understanding between the police department and diverse cultures within our community.
Part of state law says that we have to get community feedback on our policy.
The idea for this group came from other police departments who've successfully used the advisory committee model. Coon Rapids has 16 community members and 6 from the police department.
We're trying to keep the numbers low because we want everybody to have a voice and have a chance to speak at each meeting.
I bring the perspective of a person that had to navigate whiteness.
Robert Murray works as an assistant principal at Coon Rapids High School. He joined the MAC last month and says it's important for the police to hear from people of all races and creeds living in the community.
I think that I can bring a different perspective for a person as a person of color, as a male, and as a person with a unique learning style on how the police can better connect with the community.
And I see him surrounded by cops with their guns out.
In a case of mistaken identity, Rebecca Anderson Fly recalled the horrific encounter between her biracial son and Minneapolis police.
I ran out of the house, this is my youngest, and I'm like screaming at them like, what are you doing to my baby?
Coon Rapids Police hope to build more empathy with the community through the advisory committee's monthly meetings.
Because there are some things that just don't make sense anymore.
The police department hopes to build more community trust through the advisory committee's monthly meetings.
This is a new endeavor, and it's already taken legs and grown, and it's going in places where we never envisioned a year ago when we first had the idea of the concept.
Ready? Here we go. Louder, sharper, 3 times. Yeah, let's give it up for that team. That was good.
The freshmen at Coon Rapids High School aren't the only new faces in the building this fall. Cardinal Nation has a new leader, Principal John Pena.
Beginning of the school year has been great. You know, the staff here have been awesome.
Pena, along with the freshmen, got a taste of the new school year earlier this week.
We had a freshman orientation on Monday, and we had a group of staff that put on a great orientation for the kids. We had them all here pretty much. And that was the first time that I've seen the school, filled with kiddos, right? And they just had a blast.
Pena, who grew up in New York and moved to Minneapolis as a child, is no stranger to the Anoka-Hennepin School District. It's where he started his journey in school administration following years of teaching. He spent the last decade as an assistant principal at Anoka Middle School for the Arts.
My philosophy is, every kid should be loved, cared for, supported, and prepared for whatever they want to do in life. And the more connected they are to our system, I think the more likely they're going to be to succeed.
The married father of two knows he's the captain of the team, but the school ship is not his alone.
I always talk about, people say, you're building this, that, the other. It's not my building. I'm a steward of the building, that's it. The building belongs to the community, to the families, to the students.
Much of the renovation work at Coon Rapids High School is now complete, including a new activities entrance and a new school store. Pena hopes school spirit will be strong this year and that families will join him and his team on the educational journey.
We want our families engaged and involved, and so I challenge all our families to, come on up, visit your space. If something's going on at home with your kiddos, give us a call, let us know. We don't know what we don't know, and we need you to help us support your kids.
The city has long sought a full access interchange onto 610 within the boundaries of Coon Rapids.
Dozens of residents turned out Tuesday night to learn more about the proposed project to create a full interchange at Highway 610 and East River Road. Design plans have been narrowed down to the three most feasible options: to add an off-ramp at East River Road for traffic on westbound 610 and an on-ramp for drivers at East River Road who want to head east on 610 towards Blaine.
It's important to get the public's feedback on the different alternatives so that we can bring that back as we look at the design details and the different costs and the issues and the components of what it would take to choose a recommended alternative.
This is the fourth open house for the project. Another one will likely take place once a design is chosen to get more feedback about specific impacts to surrounding businesses and homes and traffic concerns. Funding still needs to be secured, so the project is still several years away from becoming reality. A special ceremony is being planned to mark the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. It will take place at Coon Rapids High School the afternoon of September 11th. You may recall a similar ceremony took place back in 2011 to mark the 10th anniversary of the terrorist attacks. Officer Brian Plotz of the Coon Rapids Police Department is organizing the event, which will include speakers, a flyover, and fireworks. He's hoping for a big turnout, just like 10 years ago.
We use the term never forget, and our goal here is to not forget. And we're 20 years removed from it now. A lot of the people that are going to be in those stands weren't even alive for it. So it's important to us to remind them, what this country went through and how that unified this country.
The 20th anniversary commemoration will take place Saturday, September 11th at Coon Rapids High School. A meet and greet with members of the armed forces and first responders starts at noon, followed by the ceremony at 2 p.m. At the conclusion of the ceremony, there will be a procession of vehicles to Fire Station 1, where an I-beam from the World Trade Center is on permanent display outside the station.
A large dust collector sits outside the temporary entrance to the ground storage reservoir located at the East Water Treatment Plant. Take a rare look inside this 5.5 million gallon tank set for a makeover both inside and out.
Today we're sandblasting the old coating off and blowing down, making sure the preparation is up to par with the specification, and then we're applying a zinc-rich primer.
The work includes the 25-foot sidewalls along with a steel floor. Each day, the contractor elevation coating can cover approximately 2,500 square feet.
So we're painting every day to eliminate the open steel that we open up blasting from rusting, flash rusting. So we paint it each day, and then we get a really good prep steel with a coating on it immediately.
Once they're done inside the tank, they'll take on the exterior with a wet blast system.
Once we get to the outside, it's going to be a little noisier, and we're not using containment tarps. So that's where we employ the wet blast system, which is a dust abatement type of process, which keeps dust way down.
Most of the painting on the outside will be done by hand. This summer's drought has caused a high demand for water. Under normal conditions, this ground storage reservoir would help pump out around 6 million gallons of water per day. The water department had to turn on alternate wells to help with demand. Because of this, some residents may see some brown water. That discoloration is harmless and temporary. City officials suggest flushing it out for a minute or two, and it should clean up fine. Meanwhile, the ground storage reservoir rehab project enters its 4th week.
Once we get primed on the inside, things will go quick. That's the main hurdle.
The work on the East Reservoir ground storage tank should wrap up by mid-October. I'm Steve Antis reporting for Community Update. For years, the giant trees which tower over Alflin Park have provided shade for visitors to the oldest park in Coon Rapids. Now city officials are exploring future options for renovations at Alflin Park. They are asking residents to fill out an online survey to gather more input on what they would like to see included in a possible redesign of the park.
And then we'll take that information and we want to come up with a plan so we can potentially go out to a consultant to help with design and get more accurate numbers, ultimately looking for the community and council to have the best information to make a decision when it comes to what our funding source need might be, as well as how to go about that.
City officials would like to make it a destination park for the entire community. The 40-acre park includes the clay hole and extends to the west to Fire Station Number 1. If you have ideas on what you would like to see at Alflin Park, the easiest way to provide input is to fill out the online survey. You can scan this barcode or go to the city's website. Remember to complete the survey by Thursday, September 30th.
Here's your City Council recap for Wednesday, August 18th. The building boom in Port River Walk will continue in the months ahead. On Tuesday night, the City Council approved the final plat for the Port River Walk 4th edition, along with the development agreement with Centra Homes. The final edition for the project includes a total of 50 lots, 46 on the east end of the site, 2 on Zilla Street at 100th Avenue, and 2 at the east end of 100th Avenue. In all, Port River Walk will contain a total of 136 detached townhomes when construction is complete. Street reconstruction is still ongoing this summer, but the city is already looking ahead to next year's projects. This week, the City Council ordered preparation of feasibility reports and plans for the reconstruction of nearly 8 miles of city streets. There are more than 50 street segments, too many to list here, but you can find the full list by logging onto the city's website and clicking on agendas. Affected property owners will receive notice in the mail in the coming weeks. A special honor this week for a former City Council member who passed away last fall at the age of 75. The pickleball courts at Riverwind Park have been dedicated to Bruce Sanders, who was integral in the push to get the courts built as part of the 2013 park bond. A plaque will be posted that reads, "This space is dedicated to the memory of Bruce Sanders for his years of public service and contribution to building these courts." Sanders served on the City Council for 12 years. And that's your City Council recap for Wednesday, August 18th. As always, you can find the full meetings on cable or the CTN YouTube channel.